Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King. And today I'm going to be giving you part 2 of What If Naruto Fell in Love with the Queen of the Vampires, guys. Remember to get this one to 100 like as usual. Share this to all of your friends on your social media platform. And also go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto and his clan was betrayed by Konoha over on Anime King 3. And enjoy that, guys. Over Anime King 2, I post a brand new episode of What If Naruto was a Saiyan trained by Vado. So go ahead and enjoy that as well, guys. And also, guys, I post a brand new episode over Anime Prince of What If Naruto was sent to My Hero Academy by Kaguya. So go ahead and enjoy that as well, guys. So yeah, without further ado or wasting any more time, what do you say we jump right into this brand new episode? Let's get started right now, guys. So the last time we left off, Naruto was on his training trip with Jiraiya, as Naruto wanted to learn something better. However, Jiraiya had to meet up with one of his contacts, as he told Naruto that he needed to master the Rasengan, but Naruto was rather upset, saying that was a waste of time, but Jiraiya told him that he needed to master the one hand. As Naruto signed exhaustion, but Jiraiya told him a secret, the Shadow Clone's secret, as Naruto was shocked, as he quickly went out to train with it. As Naruto was out there, after a few hours, Naruto had gotten it done. The knowledge feedback thing was awesome, and given the fact that he could make thousands of clones, it was rather amazing. However, Naruto then noticed someone was watching him. It was a girl, as she jumped down from a tree, smiling at him, saying that she's been watching him the entire time. As she took a while to introduce herself. When she did, she called herself Shiroi, as the fox told him to watch out for that bloodsucker, but he did not elaborate. She then proceeded to jump on Naruto as he thought that she was about to attack. He prepared himself, however. She wasn't attacked, she bit him, as she started to drink his blood. However, Naruto's blood regenerates faster than any normal blood, so he was unaffected by that. However, she was so in love with the thing that she held on to him for a long while, as Naruto told her to get up, as this was becoming a bit weird as she did. As she started to mock him a little bit in an amusing way, and flirt with him, that got Naruto all hot and bothered, because he was not used to this kind of thing as Jiraiya arrived. As they got to talk to her, as Naruto didn't know what it was, but there was just something about her. As Jiraiya was hoping that this girl could help his little blonde apprentice get ready for what is to come, mental that is, as Naruto needed to grow up and stop fussing about that girl at Konoha. So with that, they made their way. 6 months passed as they became close. Naruto and Shiroi became closer than ever, as Naruto has been trained as well and getting stronger. Jiraiya was teaching Naruto in everything, including wind manipulation. He also wanted to bring Naruto to Mount Miyaboku. However, Fukasaku believed that it was too early, but he would judge Naruto and see if he was worthy once the time was ready. But for now, he had Naruto working on different things. So Naruto kept on training as him and Shiroi got a lot closer. As Naruto allowed her to view his memories, what she saw angered her to the point that she wanted to erase Konoha. This unbelievable amount of power exploded out of her. However, Naruto held on to her, as he held on to her tight. As his words, the way he spoke, just inspired her, as she ended up kissing him on the lips for the first time. And Naruto felt absolute bliss. He was so happy, he was ecstatic, a big goofy smile on his face. As from then, things between them got a lot of kissing and making out. However, they never passed that point, as she told Naruto that she was a vampire. The elaboration on that was never there. However, the fox started to become a lot more vocal with Naruto as well, as Naruto also changed his clothing. He also got an old bracers that the fox channeled his chakra into and restored it. The blades inside of it was immensely powerful. So with that, they continue on their training trip as Jiraiya was hoping to get Naruto ready for what is to come, knowing that it would be far more detrimental when the Akatsuki start to hunt Naruto down, and he wouldn't always be there. Shiroi decided to sneak up on Naruto in hot springs, as she made quite a fun out of it. However, they still did not went past the point of kissing, but Naruto was slowly falling for her more and more and more, as he was starting to love her. As Jiraiya passed by and he realized that his student was becoming a man, but that is what he thought as he made his way off, giggling to himself. So yeah guys, basically as we left off, you guys can switch across the play check of yourself, and also don't forget to go ahead and check out the other series. I will be leaving all the links down in the description below, so go ahead, check them out, and yeah, enjoy. So without further ado or wasting more time, what do you say we jump right into this brand new episode? Begin now guys. It has been a few days since the hot spring incident, where Jiraiya had saw Naruto and Shiroi in there, and ever since then he hadn't stopped grinning at Naruto, and he was giving him a look of pride every 5 minutes, not to mention he was writing a whole lot lately, as it started annoying Naruto a lot, as Shiroi saw what he was doing, and she threatened to castrate him. Jiraiya decided to stay a good 5 feet away from her, whenever he was getting up with his perverted antics, as he kept on writing in his notebook. As they were passing through several towns, Naruto was really growing into his look, as most girls were starting to glance his way, as they realized how handsome he was. However, Shiroi gave them a glare as she held on to his arm, the glare that said he is mine. However, Naruto was oblivious to that. Jiraiya decided that it was time to get back to it. Seeing that Naruto has come a long way in wind manipulation, Jiraiya decided to test Naruto to see what other affinity that he had. After almost joining, once they reached Jonin status, start to train to learn another and master it. It turns out that it was wind. Well, wind and water, huh? Interesting combination, said Jiraiya. Jiraiya had Naruto create a bunch of clones, as he started to have them work on water manipulation while the real Naruto, it was time to meditate. As Shiroi was there as well. All 3 of them closed their eyes as they started taking breaths, as Shiroi felt a pull. The next thing she knew, she opened her eyes, she was in a strange sewer. She glanced around, as this was a place that she had come when she went through Naruto memories. The next thing she knew, she was lifted off her feet before she was pulled into a darkened area. What caught her attention though was a gigantic cage with a seal for a lock on it. Slowly 2 red eyes opened up as she realized she was in the presence of the Kyuubi. The fox watched her for a moment until they spoke. Do you know why I called you here, girl? Shiroi dumbly shook her head. All she could think about was why she was here in the first place. The last time you tried to come in here and you viewed these memories, I made it so I can call upon you when I please. Why did you call me? She said. The fox lowered its head. I find myself curious about something, so I decided to indulge in my curiosity. I know that you found out about me being inside of Naruto a good while now, and yet your attitude towards him has not changed. In fact, you seem to love him even more. Tell me, why is that? She smiled softly. Why wouldn't I love him? He's such a great person. He is also different from any other person in this world. His smile is enough to brighten anyone's day. He is truly one of a kind, and I will love him eternally. I will accept all of him, even you, she said. The fox rose up. And what of those that have hurt him before, and those who are hunting him, and those that are like him? Pure dark aura burst around her. She looked up as her eyes were glowing pink, as the slits became thinner and demonic. Her eyes held so much burning malice and hate, and also rage. Even the fox was taken aback, as she then spoke. I will make them suffer. I will show them true suffering. Only when they are on their knees, broken and begging me to end their miserable existence, only then will I rip them apart. I will kill anyone that tried to harm my Naruto. None of them shall receive any mercy from me. I'll rip them apart, she said. The fox hadn't been able to get an accurate measure on how strong she was, but now he could feel it. If he would have to say, in terms of power, she was just as strong as a Gobi, the 5 tails. However, what surprised him though was her aura. Not only was it more malicious and darker than his own, It was almost darker than... No, it was. It was darker than Uchiha Madara. Uchiha Madara was the only other being that had an aura, darker than himself. But this girl, her aura was darker than anything he ever felt before. Though she wasn't as powerful as himself, the way her aura felt, it intimidated him. He wasn't afraid. He would never say something like that. However, he could see it in her eyes. She would massacre hundreds, thousands of people if it meant protecting Naruto without battering an eye. Her dark aura then vanished, like it was never there. Is that all you wanted to see me for? Kyuubi-san, she asks. The fox sweat dropped as he wondered, was she bipolar? Yes, that was all he said. As she turned to walk away, you know, she said, if you want someone to talk to every now and then, I'm sure that Naruto-kun wouldn't mind. As she then disappeared afterwards, the fox turned his head. As he looked back to where she once was before he shut his eyes, back in the outside world, Shiroi opened her eyes, as Naruto was second then Jiraiya third. So, how did your meditation go? As Naruto grinned, well, I must say I'm surprised. It's a lot more relaxing than I thought it would be, Ero-sensei. They both turned towards Shiroi. She gave them a fan grin. It was fun, she said. Well, said Jiraiya as he got up, I don't know about you two, but I'm starving, said Jiraiya. Let's go have some ramen, said Naruto. What? No way. We just had ramen, said Jiraiya. Might I suggest that we purchase Naruto's ramen while you purchase what you want to eat, Shiroi said. But the money that we're gonna spend, said Jiraiya. As he looked like he was gonna have a heart attack, he knew how the kid could eat. Don't be so cheap, Erojiji, Shiroi said with a grin. Ramen, 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 Naruto kept on chanting. As Jiraiya sighed, shaking his head as he made his way, causing Shiroi to giggle a bit as she watched them, as she made her way after them. The past month went by, exactly how Jiraiya figured. The meditation worked wonders for Naruto. It was able to calm him down. Naruto was always one to lose control of his emotions. However, now he was able to gain a calmer state and relax in certain situations that would have put him in a rage some time ago. He was able to handle his emotions better, and when someone can't rile you up, it's harder for you to lose in a battle, as Naruto was getting better and better each day, and he was a lot calmer than before. However, despite his new calm attitude, Shiroi was still able to get him to blush like crazy. Jiraiya believed that it was because Naruto still had his virginity, and Naruto wasn't training too much in his water affinity. He was focusing too much on meditation now, as Jiraiya told him to pay a bit more attention to it. However, he was still stubborn though, as he said he would focus on it when he wanted to. But Shiroi backed Jiraiya up, and they were right, as Naruto decided to train more on the water affinity. He first trained with the water dragon jutsu, then the water prison jutsu, then the water storm uphill jutsu. As he mastered the first two, he was currently working on mastering the last one. As for Shiroi, the meditation was a godsend, because she usually wanted to jump the blonde all day. Despite what she said to herself, she wanted to jump right on him and just get it over with. However, she was able to meditate and calm herself to not do anything rash or stupid. Jiraiya had 1 week left before he had to summon Fukazaku. As Jiraiya felt like it was time to tell Naruto about his family. No, not about the 4th Hokage. He was going to tell Naruto that after his Senjutsu training, he was going to tell him about the Uzumaki clan. Who knows, maybe they could be a visit to the ruins of Uzu. As Jiraiya arrived and saw the two talking, as Naruto noticed look on his face. What's wrong, he said. Jiraiya took a deep breath as he exhaled. Naruto, I've not been entirely honest with you. Shiroi remained quiet as Naruto spoke up. What do you mean, he asked. Well, I guess I should begin with a woman named Kushina Uzumaki. Your mother. As Naruto's eyes widened at that in surprise. Your mother was a part of the Uzumaki clan that was located in the lands of Whirlpool. Not only was she a part of the clan, she was the heiress of the clan. The Uzumaki clan was allied to Konoha since the beginning of the Shinobi Nation. The first Hokage wife was known as Mito Uzumaki. She was Kushina's aunt. Because of their sealing technique, the Uzumakis were one of the most fearsome clans in the world. No one could match their seals. Even the Uchiha clan were cautious of making enemies with the Uzumaki. They were feared all through the elemental nation. As Naruto was strangely quiet, so Jiraiya continued. The symbols on the back of the joining jackets at Konoha is a friendship between the two villages. That symbol is the insignia of Uza. During the Third Shinobi War, in a combined effort, the stone, Kumo, and Kira joined together, and they destroyed Uza. And if there were a remaining few, they were scattered across the elemental nation. Your mother had already been in Konoha at the time though. The reason I'm telling you this is because I'm planning on making a trip to Uza, and since that is where your family home is located, I thought you and Shiroi would like to come. Who knows, you might find something interesting there. As Naruto was silent for a long while, Shiroi and Jiraiya started to get a bit worried. However, when he looked up, he wasn't angry. Instead, he wanted to learn more about this forgotten clan of his. Maybe there was some anger, but he did not release it though, as he kept himself calm. Given their location, it took them 3 days to reach Uza. As the long time was on the boats that they took, they walked for about a few hours. They had to cross the sea to get to the location, as they were near the land of water after all. However, something strange happened. They thought they lost Naruto one of the times. However, he was right there in the crowd. Something strange happened since he started to meditate, as Naruto was able to blend in the crowd. Maybe it was his clothing, maybe it was his new self, calm. Something was just so different that made him disappear in a crowd around him. As Shiroi called it perfect blending, as Naruto had no idea how he did it. However, the fox knew, but he was not saying anything. That was an ancient skill that was lost because of the Uzumaki's demise. However, since they were heading towards Uza, the fox wondered if Naruto would find that sword, as the fox knew a lot. After all, he was sealed inside two Uzumakis, as there was a sword out there that was never found. A sword that was far stronger than Orochimaru Kusanagi, which was a legendary blade that's said to come from the ages. A sword that can actually harm Bijus, as it was lost to time. No one has ever found it. Because if someone had, you would have heard about it through the elemental nation. But the fox was kind of hoping that he find it, as the kid represent him after all. He had to be powerful. So after a few stops, they finally found themselves in front of the broken gates of the Uzumaki. Shiroi held Naruto's hand. As she gave him a hand of comfort, Jiraiya patted him on the shoulder, as Naruto took a breath before he walked in. Old decaying buildings, broken, deserted street. The wind blew slightly, even the wind seems devoid of life. It was like time had worked its way in the wind. Faded signs that were labeled fruits, streets, playgrounds. They were all destroyed and discarded. Even bones were on the streets, once belonging to proud people. They seemed to be on the verge of collapsing into dust. Jiraiya looked around with a grim expression. He never knew that it was this bad. Shiroi looked around in anger and sadness to what they had done to these people, who definitely did not deserve it. And sadness because these were Naruto's kinsmen. The bones were the only thing remaining of them. Despite what he said, now Naruto was feeling the full weight of all of this, as he looked around towards all of the chaos. How could people actually do this? To just erase the entire clan. Erase people like they were never even here. How could you just erase someone like that? Not even a person to be exact. Thousands, hundreds of people. Like it was nothing. The full weight of everything started to hit him rather badly. The fox was pretending to be asleep inside Naruto's mindscape, as he felt everything coming from the blonde, the turmoil, the sadness. It reminded him of when the old man was about to die. That was the last time that he was sad. Ever since then, he had been angry at the world, at everything around him. Now all this sadness was coming from the blonde. It was affecting him. The fox remembered something that most people did not know. Madara had used him like a puppet, treated him like a slave, and he was so angry. However, when Uzumaki Mito sealed him away inside her, he wanted to rip her apart. He wanted to kill her. He was so angry back then. However, the first time she came to him, she offered him a hand of friendship. She said that she didn't want to treat him like some mindless beast. She knew that he had intelligence and she wanted to understand him. However, he was so angry he slapped that invitation away, saying that he wanted nothing to do with her. Nothing from her at all. As he wondered, what would have happened if he had accepted that hand of peace? Well, we might as well look around, said Jiraiya, breaking the silence, as Naruto nodded, as they started to make their way. the two of them seemingly following behind Naruto, as he seemed to just be walking, letting his feet guiding him. As Naruto walked, he felt his blood stir. Something strange just... As Naruto looked around, the two of them noticed his strange behavior. However, Naruto felt something off. It was like something called out to him, as he wondered if it was because he was in his home. However, that was not the case. Glancing towards a temple with the Uzumaki spiral engraved on the top, he made his way towards it. The two of them beside him following. As Naruto stepped inside the temple, strangely enough, unlike the other buildings, this seemed to have more life. The colors on the walls did not fade in color, and the Uzumaki symbol was not chipped or edged, it was still perfectly standing up to the testament of time. As Naruto noticed an altar in the center of the room, as he noticed a strange writing, however, he could not read it. Shiroi looked towards that Jiraiya, tilted his head. What the hell is that language, said Jiraiya. As Naruto placed his hand on the rock, he felt something on his hand. Some of his chakra was pulled out. As Naruto blinked a few times, he saw the words in front of him changing. However, the other two were not seeing anything. He then spoke out loud. You who the blade call out to. You are now the head of the Uzumaki clan. Despite the fall, we will still continue to grow. Take the blade that is blessed by the eagle, and show the world the Uzumaki clan will never die out. Naruto spoke up. As the both of them looked towards him. Did you just read that? Shiroi said. As Naruto nodded. What does blessed by the eagle mean? She asked. I don't know, said Naruto. As something didn't happen, a spike pricked Naruto's finger as his blood dropped in the center. The place then started to glow. The next thing they knew, as they looked around thinking that it was a trap at first, however, Naruto told him to calm down. He felt that this was right. The altar then split open as a blade emerged. As Naruto reached and gripped the handle, the sword was silent at first, until Naruto felt it lashed onto his chakra for a second. It then started to move on its own, as Naruto was confused, as he just stood there, holding on to the blade in his hand. It then started to pulse with an unnatural energy, like it accepted him. As Shiroi and Jiraiya watched, they held their breaths as Naruto unsheathed the blade. The sword was forged from a smooth silver metal. Its cross guard was shaped like an eagle wing, and in the center was an eagle's head, as it was wrapped in a strong dark brown leather for good gripping. Altair. The fox spoke up. I haven't seen that sword in a long time, as he was looking through Naruto's eyes. Kyuubi, you know of this blade, said Naruto, as he was rather surprised to hear that. The fox hummed in thought, debating on whether or not he should tell his container a bit of the blade history. Of course I know about the sword, he said. 100 years before the first clans were beginning to form, I met a man by the name of Uzumaki Arashi. Back then, we Bichus were not considered to be tail-beast demons, we were considered to be deities. And Uzumaki Arashi prayed daily at a shrine that was made for me. I had considered him foolish, yet he always come and pray, despite if I had considered him foolish for doing so. Arashi knew that the clans were formed and it was going to start war. So in order to protect his family, he forged the blade, Altair. Of course, when he finished, he came to the shrine and asked if I would bless it with my chakra. I set a few tests for him to see if he was worthy of getting my chakra. To my surprise, he completed all of them. I blessed the blade with my chakra, and so began the legend of Uzumaki Arashi, the greatest swordsman throughout all of time. Every swordsman knew of his legend. Some might think that it's a myth, however, I'm sure once they got a glance at that blade, they will understand that the myth is true. Whoa, said Naruto. But why do I have the feeling that the blade seems so happy, said Naruto, confused by that. This blade is forged by a metal that has long since disappeared from this earth. That sword is the only thing left made of that metal. The metal name is adamantium. It was indestructible before. It mysteriously disappeared from this world, making the blade unable to dull for at least 2,000 years, if it can at all. And since I blessed it with my chakra, the fox trailed off. As Naruto finished it, the blade will never rust, dull, or succumb to the age of time, said Naruto. That's right. And for why it seems happy, I may have given it a bit of sentience when I blessed it with my chakra. Huh? What do you mean, said Naruto. I mean that the sword, despite having a little sentience, won't have a true mind to contact you. However, it would display type of sentience every now and then, such as when you're training with it. It might show you how to properly wield it through your instincts. Another example, now that it's bonded with you, because of the blood that you wield, it won't let anyone else but you pick it up, and it don't want to be away from you. Why don't you go ahead and ask if it want to be sealed in a scroll? You want me to talk to it? Yes. Alright, fine, said Naruto. Altair, do you want to be sealed in a scroll? As Naruto felt sadness, he felt the feeling wash over him. It was coming from the blade. And now he felt bad, despite it being a blade. It's okay, Altair, said Naruto. I won't seal you away. He felt happiness. The mood changed. As Naruto felt this strange sensation just wash over him. It was foreign and uncommon, yet it felt so natural. As the two behind him just watched him, as Naruto seemed to be having some kind of inner monologue with himself. As Naruto set the sword on his hip, attaching it. As the sword pulsed in happiness by its wielder's side. Kyuubi, said Naruto. Thank you for explaining to me about Altair. Don't misunderstand me, kid. I only assisted you because I was bored. That, and I was really getting tired of hearing the water running in this piece of crap that you call a mine. Seriously, I know rats with better mind than this. As Naruto, eye twitching irritation as a fox, smiled to himself. Hey, Earth and Naruto, said Jiraiya. Hey, kid! As Naruto blinked a few times. You okay, Jiraiya asks. Yeah, I'm fine. I've been calling you for about 5 minutes now. Don't worry, said Naruto, as he looked towards him and started to explain what just happened. As Naruto patted the sword to his side. So, what are we gonna do now? Well, you're gonna have to learn how to wield a sword properly, said Jiraiya. Time skip. A few days later, as they were still within Uza, Jiraiya was kind of bored because there was no hot spring around for him to do some peeping, research for his books. He just opted to wander around the village a lot. That was a big mistake on his part because most of the place were booby trapped, as he was nearly crushed by a stone head carving of a bird. He was almost swallowed by a pit. He was almost run over by a gigantic boulder. As Jiraiya decided to never ever wander around again when arrows were shot towards his crotch. That was one part that he didn't want to lose. As Shiroi simply laughed after Jiraiya when she heard what happened. The village seemed to not try to kill Naruto. It was only going after Jiraiya. Well, she hadn't been wandering around, so she decided to stick next to Naruto's side. However, she just loved being near to him. As for Naruto, as he was training with the blade, it was more like the blade was training him. His mistakes, his movements, he felt it in a sense of touch. His mind going into sequence. The blade was just teaching him. Despite not being able to talk, he could feel his movements being guided. He could feel every strike, every twirl. It was amazing. Time skip. Summoning Jutsu. Poof. Jiraiya summoned Fukazaku. As Fukazaku lay eyes on the young lad form. So, is this the one you told me about? As he liked the robes the blonde was wearing, and his resemblance to Minato looked uncanny as well. You know, Naruto-chan, you look a lot like the fourth Hokage, said Fukazaku, as he watched Naruto carefully. As Naruto blushed a bit in embarrassment. You really think so, he said. As the fourth was his idol, hearing that, well, it was kind of pleasing and a bit embarrassing as well. Somewhat. Jiraiya then watches Fukazaku turn towards him. He asked both of them if he could talk to Jiraiya for a while. But what about my judgment, said Naruto. They say that the eyes are a window to a person's soul, Naruto-chan. The second I saw your eyes, I knew that you were worthy. Now run along. I must ask Jiraiya something important. As Naruto nodded rather happily, as him and Shiroi left afterwards. The moment they were gone, Fukazaku turned towards Jiraiya with a stone-faced look. Jiraiya boy, he said. Why is it that he doesn't know that Minato-chan is his father? A look on his face was of someone who was admiring their hero when I told him that he looked like the fourth. Jiraiya hesitated a bit. He's not ready yet, Pop, he said. Fukazaku gave him an unbelievable look. He's not ready yet? I saw the boy's eyes. He matured greatly in the months that you have him. And I can tell that he has a kind heart. I don't even think it's possible for him to hate someone completely. Judging look in his eyes, the real reason why you haven't told him is because you're afraid that he would hate you, am I right? Jiraiya sighed, as he did not say anything. Instead of thinking about negatives, think about the positives. Don't you think he will be happy to know that he still has some semblance of family out here? You are his godfather after all. Okay, Pop, you made your point, said Jiraiya, as he had this thoughtful look in his eyes. But, are you gonna help him with stage training? Yes, of course, said Pop. Well then, there's something else I want to ask of you. And what would that be? Well, you see, meanwhile, Shiroi-chan, wait up, said Naruto, as she turned and gave Naruto a bright but a fake smile. What's wrong, Naruto-kan, she said, as Naruto stepped towards her. What's bothering you? What are you talking about? I know that something is bothering you, said Naruto. I can see it on your face. She was surprised because she thought she was hiding it well. She sighed. It's your sage training that's bothering me, she said, as Naruto tilted his head. What do you mean, he asked, confused by that. What I mean is this training will separate us for an unknown amount of time. And I don't want to be separated from you, Naruto-kan, she said, as she looked down. Don't cast. It was selfish, she knew it. Shiroi-chan, said Naruto. You're being a bit of an idiot, don't you think? Her head snapped up towards him to ask what he meant by that. However, he was simply smiling at her, and she felt her heart melt, as a blush came on her face. Think about it, said Naruto. I'll just ask if you can come along, said Naruto. I mean, what would be the harm in that? And if he doesn't want you to come, maybe it's not a good idea, and I just won't go. She was shocked. She couldn't believe what she was hearing. Naruto-kan, are you saying that you would not go for me? Even if it meant not gaining that power? Well, I can still get strong on my own, said Naruto. Besides, you remember a few days ago? As she remembered that, Naruto was right. They were going around one of the locations and they found a scroll. It was an old, battered, torn up scroll. However, when Naruto opened it, he saw blood. There was a strange writing once again, and a small seal. He applied chakra. The scroll had seemed empty, however, once he did that, it gave him a strange map. And he went underground. That is where he found a strange bookshelf. There were scrolls on it, a lot of them. So Naruto had a lot more to look forward to. It seems that most of the Uzumakis, given their location near the sea, they were master at water ninjutsu. Jiraiya told him they had ninjutsu water kind, and also kinjutsu under their belt. So Naruto had found a lot for a second element. After all, they were his family, so it's only right that he took them to keep them safe after all. There was only water jutsus for wind. He only found about 1 or 2. Water seemed to be the most advanced for the Uzumakis, and there was a lot of powerful one there. I don't care, Naruto-kan, she said. I could not, and I would not let you lose such an opportunity because of my selfishness. However, Naruto simply held her and pulled her close before he planted a kiss on her lips. As she really went quiet after that, as she stepped back in a little daze. Either they let you come with us, or I will simply refuse because I don't see the big deal about not letting you come in, said Naruto. As the fox was listening to all of this, he did not really care if she went or not. However, he was feeling the blonde conflicting feelings. Why the hell was he getting so attached? It's not like he cared after all. He doesn't care about anyone. He was a mighty, goddamn Kyuubi, the powerfulest Biju in history. Then what? What's this damn feeling? Why did he care about this stupid blonde? Just because he's been with him since he was a damn child, watching him go through hate and pain and torture and suffering. Because of him, why should he care? It's not his fault that he was sealed inside of him. It's not. As the fox sighed. What the hell is wrong with me, he thought to himself. Why should he care about the damn blonde? He turned his head and returned back to sleep. Yet, a few words echoed through his mind. You will know when you find him. It was the Sage of Sixth Path. Back outside, Shiroi was currently drinking some of Naruto's blood as he stroked her hair, as she nibbled on his neck. It wasn't painful or anything. In a strange way, he kind of liked it, as he stroked her hair. As Naruto really cared for her a lot. He would take on the entire world, the strongest beings, even the Kyuubi if it meant making sure that she was safe and alright. Naruto was unknowingly talking out loud in his mind, causing the fox to hear him, as he got up on both of his paws. As he started to roar, he was the greatest tail beast in existence, the most mightiest being, an unstoppable force of nature. This brat could never best him. The fox then looked around as he realized, oh yes, he was alone. As he sat back down, there was no audience here for that, to tremble in fear at his words. Back at the house, and that's the entire story, said Jiraiya, as he just finished explaining the entire story to Pa about Shiroi, vampire nature, how he noticed her depressed state when she found out that Naruto was gonna learn Senjutsu and she wouldn't be there. The elder Toad was shocked by what she was at first, but he got over it. The shinobi world was a strange place, and the way Jiraiya made it sound, it seems like they were really close. Jinchurikis needed more attention than most people to go through their life of heartache and pain. Maybe this was good for the child. Jiraiya did not exactly say it, however. He knew what he wanted. I know what you want to ask, Jiraiya boy, and I will allow it. Jiraiya smiled at that. However, said Paul, it is Naruto-chan that must ask if she can come, not you. As Jiraiya was about to speak until the door opened up, as a determined Naruto entered as he turned towards Fukazaku. Old Toad Fukazaku-sama, said Naruto. Yes, Naruto boy, I want to ask you something. As Naruto bowed his head, shocking everyone. I don't know what is the laws or rules or custom there, but I want Shiroi-chan here to come with me to Mount Miyaboku, said Naruto as he glanced up with one of his eyes open. Shiroi heart trembled with love and affection towards Blonde. The way he was able to do these things for her. However, it made her remember Konoha, how those people treated him. She had certain thoughts in her head, certain dreams about her gutting every single people there, for the pain that they put him through. She just loved him so much. She never wanted anyone to hurt him. And the only reason why she could not turn that village into death and chaos was because Naruto still wished to protect it, because he still had precious people there, and she would never try anything to hurt him, doesn't matter what. Fukazaku hummed in thought as he looked down towards the blonde. He must admit he wasn't expecting the blonde to be so respectful, but just because he swallowed his pride, it doesn't mean that he has resolved to do it. So he decided to give him a little test. And tell me, Naruto-chan, what if I refuse to let her come along? As Naruto straightened himself back up. Well then, I won't accept your training, said Naruto. Jiraiya was completely shocked at that. He can't be serious. Would he really abandon Sage training for her, Jiraiya thought to himself, as he looked towards Naruto. But the kid was dead serious. Fukazaku then started to laugh, as he seemed rather happy, remembering something. Well then, she can come along. Wait, really? Yep. As Naruto was a bit confused, I thought, as he simply jumped on Naruto's shoulder and patted him on the head. Everything is fine, Naruto-chan, he said. You too as well, Miss, he said, looking towards her. As she gave him a nod, thank you, she said. As Shiroi jumped forward as Toad had to leap off Naruto's shoulder and land on Jiraiya, as Naruto caught her and swung her around in happiness. They were so happy. Now then, I suggest you get your baggage back. Moments later, poof, the group arrived in Mount Miyaboku. As Naruto glanced around as he saw toads in the far distance, the gigantic ones as well. The place was a gigantic forest, gigantic leaf. It was just wow. Alright then, I guess it's my time to depart, said Jiraiya. Wait, you're leaving? Said Naruto. Of course, I still have my spy network to handle, you know, kid. And besides, I think you will have enough company, said Jiraiya with a grin. So, train hard and get stronger. When I come back, I expect you to be a sage, he said, with a grin on his face. Oh, you don't have to worry about that, said Naruto. I'll definitely be a sage by the time you return. I'm awesome like that, remember? As Jiraiya gave him a grin. Look after him, Shiroi. He may have matured a bit, but he's still a bit stupid. Hey, said Naruto. As Jiraiya grinned. Don't worry. I'll look after him, she said, with a happy smile on her face. Jiraiya then gave them a wave as he poofed away. Naruto, a voice said, as a toad hopped towards him and landed in front of him. Huh? Who are you? Said Naruto. It's me, Gamiken. You're joking, right? No, it's me. As Naruto was shocked the last time Gamiken came to him, he was able to fit on his head. Wow, you're so big, said Naruto. Yep, toads grow really fast. You've seen my pop after all. I guess you're right, said Naruto. Oi, Naruto boy, who's this? He asks. Oh, this is Jiraiya, my girlfriend, said Naruto. As he looked towards her and he held out a webby hand. Nice to meet you. She shook his hand. Nice to meet you too, she said. Huh, she was meeting a giant toad. Fun. She then felt a presence behind her. She turned. Another toad was there as he looked at her. Do you have any snacks? The toad had a dopey look on its face. No, she said. The toad then turned towards Naruto. Do you have any snacks? As Naruto chuckled in amusement before he reached down into his pouch and pulled out some sweets. You're Gamatatsu, right? Said Naruto. Given Gamakin's size over there. I can guess that you're Gamatatsu. Yes, it's me, Naruto, Gamatatsu said, with that goofy grin on his face same way. As Naruto pulled out the sweets and tossed them to the toad, who devoured them. The toad was plump and happy, as it made Naruto smile. You shouldn't give me any more snacks, said Gamikichi. It's only encouraging him. Relax, Kishi. It's not like the world's gonna end if I keep on giving him treats. As Shiroi giggled, these toads treated Naruto like he was family, and that made her happy. Ma! Naruto-chan is here, Fukazaku called out. As Naruto wondered who is Pa. Dang it, Pa! You interrupt my cooking! Come and say hi to Naruto-chan and his girlfriend. As Shiroi looked towards him, why the hell were they yelling at each other? They were so close. Really? Naruto-chan's finally here? Let me see him, she said as she came out. As Naruto looked at a small toad that was the same size as Pa. Well, it's nice to finally meet you, Naruto-chan. My name is Shima, but everyone calls me Ma, she said. So I expect you to do the same. And you must be Shiroi-chan that Jiraiya told us about. It's nice to meet you, she said. Well, it's nice to meet you as well, Ma, she said, correcting her statement. Well then, Naruto boy. It's time for us to begin the basics of Senjutsu. Are you ready? Shima eye then went wide. The food, she said as she hopped off back. Alright, Naruto boy, sit down. A part of what the man said freaked Naruto out. There was a chance that he can die. If he hadn't tried to meditate and calm himself, he'd have probably be bouncing up and down right now. Freaking out, however, he just sat down and listened. It's simple. He just won't let the nature chakra overwhelm him. As a fox had a small smirk on its face. All the times when you think that he would freak out, hearing that there was a possibility that he was gonna die, he took that challenge head on and just got over it. As the fox simply chuckled to himself. Kid was always proven to be something unique. Time skip. 2 months later, Naruto was able to master Senjutsu in a month with the help of 2 clones, since that was the limit that Pa set for him. Fukazaku and the other toads were shocked as hell. The mere fact that Naruto was able to master that in just a month was rather shocking. As Shiroi gave him a lot of kisses as a reward, which Naruto loved getting. As Naruto met a toad called Gamahiro, he had remarkable swordsmanship. As he started to help Naruto into a style of fighting, just like how you had the toad. Taijutsu also had the toad, Kinjutsu as well, and Gamahiro was a master of it, and he also wanted to pass on the gift of throwing knives towards Naruto. At first Naruto wondered what the hell throwing knives. However, he crafted some well-placed knife, as they were a lot sharper and denser than kunais. Everything was going so well, the only problem was, well, it was Ma. No, not really her, it was her cooking. It was downright horrible. The first few times that Naruto ate it, he thought that he was gonna die. However, Jiraiya sent news that he was gonna return with a mission for Naruto. Hearing of Naruto's progress, he couldn't wait to see the brats. As Naruto was happy, pulsing with excitement, his first real mission. As Jiraiya arrived, he began his introduction dance. As he posed and started to say all of that crap. As all of them were there giving him a blank stare. That dance and introduction is so redundant, Shiroi said, as the others nodded in agreement. As Naruto remembered the first time he saw Jiraiya did this introduction, he thought that Naruto had beat Ebisu by a fluke and thought that he was a complete buffoon. But he was wrong. So Jiraiya said, I heard about all of your improvements. Why don't you show me a glimpse? As Jiraiya stood there, as Naruto closed his eyes for a few seconds until he was able to gather enough sage energy here, which was quite large. And he saw the pigment around his eyes. Jiraiya was beyond impressed. He hasn't even mastered Sage mode completely, couldn't focus on nature and enjoy by himself without ma and pa, and yet this kid was a natural. You've done a great job, Naruto. I'm proud of you, said Jiraiya. As there was no joking or anything, he was just happy. Thanks, Erasenin, said Naruto. So where are we off to now? Said Shiroi. Actually, Shiroi-chan, I believe that Jiraiya-chan has something more to say to Naruto-chan. Said Paul. Yeah, Naruto. There's something that you should know. What's that? As Jiraiya was quiet for a moment, as he played it off in his head, I know who your father is. What? You know who my father is? And you didn't tell me? He's the fourth Hokage. As it then went on, Naruto attacking him in his mind and hating him forever. That is something he didn't want to happen as he winks. Are you okay? Said Naruto. Jiraiya stiffened a bit as he took a breath. As he licked his lips, feeling them dry all of a sudden, as Shiroi wondered if he was going to tell him that his father is the fourth. She didn't have any concrete proof, however, when she was watching his memories, she saw the resemblance that the both of them had. Except for the whisker marks, they looked the exact same. However, she knew about the fourth Hokage exploits. And if Naruto was the fourth Hokage's son, and he had no protection, the stone would stop at nothing to try and kill him. I know your father. As Naruto was quiet, he then spoke. Who was my father? Your father was one of the most powerful shinobis in the world, and kinder than any other person in the world as well. I don't even think it was possible for him to truly hate someone. Just like you, said Jiraiya. He was feared by many and loved by many. Most of all, your mother. As Naruto was quiet. Your father was my student. His name was Minato Namikaze, but you would know him as the fourth Hokage. Everything was silent as Naruto bangs covered his eyes. He said nothing at all as he looked at Jiraiya. Through his bangs he could see the man, look on his face. As Naruto asked, he spoke, just 2 words. Why me, he said. Minato couldn't just trust anyone with a Kyuubi. I'm not sure much of what happened that night, but from what I understand, sealing the Kyuubi inside of you was the only option. Sealing it inside of another child. I mean, who could ask another parent to give up their child if they're not willing to do the same? However, knowing him, I know that it was one of the hardest choices in his entire life. I know you must be angry or pissed off that we didn't tell you. However, you're much too young. And the hidden stone, they hated your father. And if they found about you, Jiraiya paused. I know that's not much to say that we should have been there for you, but still. I'm sorry I never told you until now, said Jiraiya. As Naruto glanced up, there was tears in his eyes. As Naruto glanced up to the heavens, he always sprouted about he wanted to become Hokage. However, hearing what his father did, he now understands the true weight of all of that. What it meant. What it meant to do something like that. He now truly understands it. Being Hokage, the things that you had to do, as Naruto understand it. I understand, he said. Besides, brooding over something for a long time is not my style. And I knew that he loved me, I can feel it. For some strange reason, despite their not being here. But Kushina Uzumaki, Minato Namikaze, Mom, Dad, said Naruto out loud. I'll make you proud, he said, as he glanced up towards the heavens. Everyone looked towards the blonde in amazement. It seems that Naruto had far more control over his emotion than he had before. As he understood, he was thinking with the mind of a leader. Something that they never really expected him to do this early. The fox propped open an eye. It seems like you were correct. Despite everything not getting tainted by hatred. Maybe he really is the one, said Kurama to himself. As Jiraiya walked over, BAM! Naruto punched him. As Jiraiya collapsed to the ground, surprising everyone. What the hell was that, said Jiraiya. I feel it was still appropriate to punch you, said Naruto. And it makes me feel a lot better. So, said Naruto as he held his hand. Jiraiya sighed as he took the hand as Naruto helped him back to his feet. As I was saying, he said, rubbing his cheek, there is something I had to give you. As he was lucky that Naruto was no longer in sage mode, and that he held back as well. This is all the notes that your father made on his most devastating jutsu, the Hiroshin. As Jiraiya handed over the papers to Naruto, I've looked at these notes for years, and what I come to realize is that you're the only other person that can use this jutsu. Your father has modified it to the point where only a blood relative can use it. That being you, said Jiraiya. As Naruto was surprised, he was the only one able to use a Hiroshin. A jutsu sought after by countless individuals for power or prestige, and he was the only one that was able to use it. Well, it was a bit of a shocker. This technique was the thing that ended the Third Great Shinobi War. It made Naruto grin as to what he would do with this technique. One last thing to give you before I give you your first mission in months. It's time. I give you your inheritance money, said Jiraiya. As Naruto was surprised at that. That was something he didn't expect. But thinking about it now, his father was a Hokage, and his mother was the heiress to the Uzumaki clan, so yeah. But still, Naruto was surprised. So I have inheritance money. Well, it's all stored away somewhere safe. I made sure of that, said Jiraiya. And it has been increasing over the few years. Interesting, all Jiraiya said. So about now it's about 15.3. Naruto tilted his head. 15.3 billion, said Jiraiya. As Naruto paused, Shiroi's eyes went wide. You're joking, right? No, seriously, said Jiraiya, as he handed Naruto a piece of paper. As Naruto skimmed over it. I have 15.3 billion, said Naruto. He was shocked. Beyond shock. 15.3 billion! Holy shit, he shouted. But guys, be and subscribe right here. If you want to see the next part of this, you already know what to do. Like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notifications they posted. And don't forget to go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto and his clan was betrayed by Konoha? And enjoy that, guys, over Anime Making 3. I also post a brand new episode of Anime Making 2 of What If Naruto was a Saiyan that was trained by Vadus. So go ahead and enjoy that, guys. And also over Anime Prince, I post a brand new episode of What If Naruto was sent to the My Hero Academy by Kaguya. So go ahead and enjoy that as well, guys. So yeah, without further ado, what is to begin this new episode begin. Now guys, what the hell am I saying? It's time we get the hell out of here. See you guys soon. Peace out.